I don't know about you, but I feel that not sharing the whole truth is just about as bad as lying to my face. Remember those words, we're going to come back to them a little later. But I also want to ask you, have you taken a look around lately? There is obesity and diabetes on the rise. Maybe you know someone that's got a child with autism or recently being diagnosed with ADD. They are at epidemic levels. Have you ever wondered why this is so? Well, I would like to discuss the possibilities for the rise of sickness and disease and some ways to help you take control of your health. And it starts by getting informed and then changing your eating habits and adopting an organic lifestyle. Now, some of the ways that our food is prepared, others don't take the time to really investigate. But there are some concerning facts that go into looking at and evaluating how our food is grown and how our animals are treated. Now, some health concerns that are posed from the toxic exposure to pesticides include cancer, infertility, asthma, birth defects. They've all been linked to pesticide exposure. Pregnant women and children and the elderly are especially susceptible to the impacts of toxic pesticides. And what's more, toxic pesticides frequently miss their intended targets. Nearby streams are often contaminated with pesticide runoff, polluting drinking water supplies and harming wildlife such as honeybees. Antibiotics are also used to treat our livestock. Many natural method meats have been raised with help from antibiotics that we depend on to keep our families healthy. In recent years, 80% of antibiotics sold in the U.S. have gone to chickens, pigs, cows, and other animals, regardless of whether the animals are sick. Using antibiotics to promote the growth of animals reduces the effectiveness of those life-saving drugs, making them more resistant to bacteria. In some cases, farmers use antibiotics to treat sick animals. In most cases, antibiotics are used by feedlot operators trying to prevent infections caused by cramped and unsanitary living conditions. These practices have led to the development of superbugs, and antibiotic-resistant bacteria that are very hard to treat. They're also fed artificial hormones. Some farmers use artificial hormones to make their animals grow bigger, faster, to increase productivity. Despite being banned in all other countries, some American meat producers and dairy farmers continue to rely on hormones which pose numerous health risks. For example, RGHB, a growth hormone engineered to make cows produce more milk, that has been linked to colon and breast cancer among adults and early pubescent children. Up to 20 additional artificial hormones are currently used in livestock production. And let's get to our final issue of genetically modified organisms. Many foods labeled as natural include ingredients from crops that have been genetically engineered. Genetic engineering is a process that alters the plant's DNA to make a new organism not found in nature. Crops like corn and soybeans, the building blocks of processed foods, have all been genetically engineered to withstand large doses of chemical herbicides and toxic pesticides which pollute our air and water. Welcome to the stage, Monsanto. Monsanto Company is a publicly traded American multinational chemical and agriculture biotechnology corporation headquartered in Creve Missouri. The leading producer of genetically engineered seed of the herbicide glyphosate, which markets under the Roundup brand, which I'm sure you've heard of. Monsanto also has a Protection Act that allows them to override the United States government. The government has no power whatsoever to stop Monsanto and other biotechnology corporations from planting and harvesting. Monsanto's response to lawsuits may have resulted in significant delays in approving the new innovative products that will help growers provide Americans with an abundant and economical food supply while remaining competitive in the world market. Have you heard anything that is disturbing yet? Now, to avoid exposure to the toxic pesticides, adopting an organic diet is imperative. Now, what does organic mean? The USDA defines organic food as food that is produced by farmers who emphasize the use of renewable resources and the conservation of soil and water to enhance environmental quality for future generations. These foods are also processed without conventional pesticides, fertilizers made with synthetic ingredients, sewage sludge, bioengineering, or ionizing radiation. Before a product can be labeled organic, a government-approved certifier inspects the farm where the food is to be grown to make sure the farm is following all of the rules necessary to meet the USDA's organic standards. Companies that handle or process organic food before it gets to your local supermarket or restaurant must be certified. But why are most Americans still eating processed and fast foods? Doing something as simple as eating organic food for just 1 week can reduce the pesticide levels in your body by nearly 90%. Be aware of what you are putting into your bodies and your children's bodies. Now, developing this lifestyle can be overwhelming. A very simple tool to take with you, take a picture of this, write it down, is this list that the Environmental Working Group comes out with annually, and it does testing the previous year. It takes the top 12 fruits and vegetables that have the highest concentration of pesticides and lists them, and it also lists the top 15 fruits and vegetables that have the lowest concentration of pesticides. It would be wise to avoid the dirty dozen and buy those organic, and then you're safe to buy the clean 15. Now, there are some reasons why organic food is not popular. In a story run by the U.S. News, Dr. David Katz, who is a leading health expert, states that organic food is neither more nutritious nor any less prone to bacterial contamination than corresponding conventionally grown foods. And the cost of organic food is expensive. But would you like to pay the farmer now or the doctor later? Let this resonate within you. Our consciousness is shifting and awakening to new truths, and is playing a large role in shifting our perception. Shifting our perception alone is starting point to creating global change. Nobody is forcing you to do anything. You always have a choice, and that includes making the choices that you make when it comes to your food. One final thought comes to mind is a quote by the founding father of medicine, Hippocrates. He states, "Let thy food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be thy food." Thank you.